Brilliance Audio.
Death at Paradise Palms by Steph Broadribb. Performed by Ruth Redman. This is not how most days start. Usually, right about now, Moira would be on her way home after her early morning swim, or already back at base and dropping her kit bag in the kitchen before heading out for a brisk walk across the grasslands with her 3 dogs. Instead, she's in the passenger seat of Rick's bone shaker of a Jeep, racing up the near-deserted streets of the Ocean Mist district of the Homestead retirement community. They're heading towards the biggest house in one of the neighbouring districts, Paradise Palms. It's one of a handful of mansions that sits high up on the crest of the ridge, with views across the whole community. These homes are premium real estate, the most expensive houses in the Homestead. Locally, they're known as the Millionaires Row. Rick reaches a 4-way stop and takes a right without braking. Moira curses under her breath and grips the handle above the window for balance. She glances across at Rick. "You missing those car chases from back in the day?" "Something like that," he says with a boyish grin. Even though she hates being shaken around like a martini at a James Bond convention, Moira can't help but smile. Rick's grin is rather disarming. The Jeep's a big vehicle, but with Rick in the driver's seat it looks like a child's toy being driven by a giant wearing cargo shorts, a navy polo shirt and sandals. Even with the 2-month compulsory medical rest imposed by his doctors after taking a bullet, Rick has lost none of his muscular bulk. Moira wonders if he's been defying the doc's orders and working out in secret. She wouldn't put it past him. As if sensing her appraising him, Rick glances her way. "You know who Olivia Ziegler is, right?" Moira shakes her head. "Never heard of her." Rick raises his eyebrows. "For real? Well, you'll recognize her when you see her. That's for sure. She's a fine actor. Been in a whole bunch of box office hits. Towards the Devil, After the Sun Dies, Jasmine Dreaming, A Bucketful of Courage, Tomorrowlandia. Any of those ring a bell?" "Not really," Moira says, gripping the handle tighter as Rick bounces the Jeep over a couple of speed bumps. "I've never been into watching films much." Rick stares at her over the top of his shades. "You aren't into movies? Wow." "It's not a big deal. I prefer a good book or the telly, that's all." "Sure." He pushes his shades back up his nose. "So you might not recognize her, but you should know she was a big deal in her heyday. Still is to a lot of people. She's married to a younger guy, Cody Ziegler. They're well known as one of the happiest married couples in the film industry." "Got it." Moira's never been one to follow celebrity lifestyles and news. All the glitz, glamour and Instagram filters do her head in. It's not real life. It's not even the celebrities' real lives, but a fake story made up to make themselves look great and their lives look perfect. Real life isn't like that. Real life is seeing how much shit you can cope with and then having a whole lot more piled on top of you until you break. As a DCI in the Metropolitan Police, Moira had experienced firsthand what that felt like. That's why she retired out here in Florida, to forget and to heal. Mind you, with everything that's happened recently, she doubts there's any chance of forgetting or healing anytime soon. Still, she's not had a panic attack since she moved here early last year. Just the one scare a couple of months back, but she'd managed to get her breathing under control and had avoided a full-blown episode. It's progress, and she's happy to take any win, no matter how small. Rick makes a left turn into the street that marks the end of the Ocean Mist district of the Homestead and the start of the Paradise Palms district. There's a squat 1-story building on their right, a gatehouse that houses the security team who monitor the comings and goings across the Homestead community. Rick takes the lane on the far side for residents, slowing down to allow time for the cameras to pick up the Jeep's license plate, and then speeds up as soon as the light changes from red to green. He steers the Jeep through a chicane bend and out onto a main road, then floors the gas again. "How do you know this Olivia Ziegler anyway?" asks Moira. "I've never met her. She got my number from Hank at the CCTV station. She asked him how she could get in contact with the people that solved the murder at Manatee Park. He gave her my cell. She called. And here we are." "Right.